Hi you guys, welcome back to It's the Art Box. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these in cardboard. It's not going to have the stand. Make a bust in cardboard. It'll look like this, but I'm going to be painting on black and white. I've already got two done. This one's in black. You can see that. And then this one's in white. All done. So I'm going to flip you to the other camera and show you how it's done. Okay, what you're going to need is glue, cardboard, and you're going to need, of course, paint and whatever you want to finish the bust with. I already pre-cut this one out of cardboard, and it is two thickness layer cardboard. We got something shipped to us, and the cardboard was really super thick, so I saved it and decided on my jewelry display at the craft shows I wanted some height. And everything weighs. I don't want to carry a lot of weight. These weigh a little bit. These are the wood ones you get at I don't know, Hobby Lobbies or Michael's, and I don't want to put these on the top of my display case because they're heavy. So these weigh nothing. I'm only using two of these wood type on my display. They'll sit on the table. I've already painted one of these black and I got white ones. So what I did for this was, basically this is wallpaper, paintable wallpaper. I had gotten a roll of it. At a thrift store, and I had been holding on to it for a couple years now because I always say I'm going to make beads or something out of it because it's got texture, embossed texture on it. But I didn't know I have it. So you could probably pick it up at any wallpaper store. You could also use probably a really nice wrapping paper. You know, even Christmas time they have filigree with gold and all that stuff. But basically, and then on the back, because I did not want to use, because this is going to be painted, I did not want to use more of the wallpaper because, you know, it probably costs more. I used a piece of newspaper to cover my edges when I folded down the edges after because I basically cut the wallpaper to go across the top, front, and over the sides. So I folded it over the sides. So basically, you have your wallpaper, and this is a messy project. Make sure the pattern's going the way you want it. You take your cardboard, whatever side you want to be the front. This is going to be my front because on some of my pieces, I don't know if this piece has it, I cut one extra one. Now, some of them had an imprint because we had something shipped that had wheels on it. So that was an imprint of wheels, but I only needed 8 of these. So you basically, this is a very, 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 very messy little project. You basically need glue and lots of it. So you just basically, on the side that's going to go down on the wallpaper, put lots of glue. I think I went through a whole thing of glue yesterday. That's okay, I have glue. I buy that stuff up throughout the year. Well, I buy it up mostly back to school time. So you need glue, and you just spread it all over the front side of this bust. And to me, it thicker the better. That way, also what's gonna help is a couple of my, like right here, you can't see it now, but right here was a bent crease. By putting the glue on, the glue happened to help harden it up some more. So once you believe that you've got every inch of this piece covered with school glue, and you could use Mod Podge, but Mod Podge is more expensive. Turn it over kind of line it up, press it down, then flip it over and press down your design side so you get a nice, I did not do this on the very first one, and I actually can see like there's an air pocket, but it's okay. It's okay. So really press it down. You don't need a brayer or anything like that. You can do it with your hands, but if you want to use a gadget, which I believe is one of these things, you're more than welcome to go through and bray it out. I think I'm doing okay with my hands. So then flip it back over. Give yourself a generous fold over seam, because you do have to fold over about 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch thick cardboard. Give yourself a decent enough amount of fold over. Now I'm not throwing out the parts that I'm cutting. I'm saving them because I never know if I will make a pendant or something and want to put a piece of embossment on it or something. So I started a little baggie yesterday of saving my scraps. So I'm not throwing away this scrap. This is different. So that's the end of that. Save that. Then come along, and there's no right or wrong, just what works for you. Cut so you can fold over. Basically, cut it so you can fold it over. And yes, you're going to have a little bit of extra come off. And there is no perfect fold over on this, and I'll show you why. Because if you'll see here, when I fold it over, I wasn't always able to cover the cardboard, but it's okay. It still looks pretty. This one's actually ready to be painted either black or white. I know it looks white, but it's actually slightly cream, and I want it white. So continue to cut these pieces. Now if I was to do this all over again, this top part right here, I might make this a little bit longer so that when you hang a pair of a necklace and everything, you could almost hang your bracelet here. So I would probably make that just a tad bit longer on the top if I was to do it over. But I'm not doing it over. I cut 8 of these yesterday, and I'm showing you on the 8th one. I cut 9 of them. I'm showing you on the 8th one what I did for folding it over. So basically, just to see, some of it doesn't go exactly so. You just have to do the best you can. There's no wrong or right here. I know it looks, maybe somebody else knows better than I do on this. And if you do, great and wonderful, because I don't. I wanted a somewhat of a fold edge, and I did not want to go along. And I mean, you could probably put, you could probably skip this whole bending over thing and put ribbon or something here, but I didn't want to do that. For one thing, I don't have any, and I'm not spending any more money on this project. This is supposed to be a free project. This is not supposed to cost me anything. That's the whole purpose of doing this project. So it would not cost me a penny. Use what I have. Because, I mean, yes, it's an outside event. Yes, I want my booth to look nice. Because if my booth looks nice, I sell. If my booth doesn't look nice, I don't, you know, why bother come in? You know? So, once you get that done, my suggestion is to do the top first. And again, plenty of glue. Yesterday it was a messy mess. It was a very sticky mess yesterday. So just glue this on. And I fold this piece that I cut down last. So I start with these odd ones first. And I get my fingers all up in there. because like I said, it's a messy mess. And I just work these all in until I get them. And yeah, this is going to take a little while to dry after you do all this. I happen to put mine in a dryer box. What's called a dryer box, a damp box. And they dried like within an hour or so. But you may have to let this sit overnight once you do this part of it, because it is you are using so much glue, but the time is worth it in the long run. It's worth it to take your time and do that. And it's wallpaper, so this is wallpaper, so I got to work with it for a minute to get it all down. So since I got to work with it for a minute, I'll just, I mean, if it was paper, you could crease it and it might stay better. But this is what I had, and this is what I wanted to use. Yeah, this was a very messy mess yesterday. And I keep pushing them in place, pushing them in place. And this is where the newspaper, when I'm done, is going to come over and cover all these tabs. So then I do my sides. And I push that piece of paper over. And you can clean up the paintbrush when you're done. Just put it in soapy water and it'll clean up. I'm using a synthetic paintbrush with the white bristles. I don't know what it's normally used for. I don't know if it's watercolor or acrylic or what. I don't know. The paintbrush is by Artist Loft, but use any paintbrush. It does not matter. And then just press all that in place. I keep putting my paintbrush in water while I push down so the glue doesn't stay. I might have to pick one of these up and pull it tighter. Okay. Once you've got everything kind of like staying in its place for a minute, then go back, more glue. Like I said, you can't have too much glue. I don't think I have too much glue. Again, you can use, because I just pull my paintbrush out of the water. I don't even worry about drying it off. You can use Mod Podge if you like. I don't like Mod Podge in Florida, because I live in Florida, because I think that Mod Podge gets sticky. Now, would it stay sticky on this part? Probably not, because I'm going to paint over these, but I'm not the biggest fan of Mod Podge for a lot of stuff. I mean, I use it occasionally, yes, but I prefer to use plain old-fashioned school glue most of the time, because in Florida it does dry. Now, I had sticky fingers, pre-cut. I lay my bust out on newspaper, and I had pre-cut out a piece of newspaper. Then I'm just laying it down. Now, I cut it just a little bit smaller, about 1/4 of an inch smaller than my outline, so that I didn't have newspaper overlapping onto the front. And I know it does not cover 100% the back, but that's okay. That's not what I'm trying to achieve here. What I'm trying to achieve is to cover the edges of the paper from the front. I mean, if you want to get precise and totally cover this, like right up to the edge, go ahead. But I'm not that anal about that. Now I'm going to go back over it with my paintbrush, and I'm going to keep dipping my paintbrush in water, because this is where I want the water to kind of soak into the paper and kind of maybe hit that glue on the other side. And that's where kind of like the Mod Podge technique kind of comes in. But again, I'm not Mod Podging this. If I feel I need a little glue on the end of something, I'll put a little glue on the end. You know, I'll hit the end with a little bit of glue, spread it in with my paintbrush, grab some water, again, try to work that glue up underneath the edge of the paper. But if you have a lot of glue on the cardboard prior to putting down the newspaper, as your paintbrush goes across, it will actually kind of work that glue out. I'm going to go ahead and hit this edge here a little bit. There is no wrong or right reason to do this. This is just how I did it for my craft booth display. I mean, if a little bit of the paper goes over the edge, that's okay. I am painting these. Now, after I did this, I let them dry. And because I do make paper beads and I have it on hand, I did brush on a generous coat of PC petrifier, wood hardener, onto the fronts and backs. One coat. Now, I would love to have stuck it in a shoebox or a plastic container that was big enough to hold this and let it soak up some PC petrifier. That would make it a little bit harder, but at the same time, I would have used a lot of expensive product on this, and I don't really necessarily need it hard because they do get hard enough with you don't even have to use PC petrifier. You could just do this, let them dry, and that would be fine. Because that's what it sounds like with PC petrifier on it. This is what it sounds like, just cardboard. Not much difference. It's still firm, but I just did it. You don't have to. And I'm just telling you what I did. You could just do this, let it dry. You could coat it with Mod Podge if you wanted to Mod Podge it. You could spray paint it with you could spray paint it or brush paint it, however you want to do it. I'm spray painting them with inexpensive black flat and white flat paint from Home Depot or even the Dollar General, because Home Depot has paint for 97 cents and Dollar General sells it for $1.35 a can. But this is done. Looks like all my edges are going to stay down. I will let this dry and then I will spray paint it. Let me wipe up this anything wet here. And then when you spray paint it, you will have this when it's all done. I took these little eyes and screwed them into the top, but I did have to punch a hole and put super glue in it. My suggestion is super glue this so they stay, because this is still cardboard. And then I took a bigger eye that I had right here. I use eyes a lot. I took a bigger eye and I took and made a hook for the bracelet right there. It's hard to see it. I actually had to take these snippers. These are nice. I don't know where you get them from. Oh, bead landing. And I actually was able to cut a piece out of that eye with a squeeze to make my own hook. See? That way I can hang the earrings on this bust, hang the necklace on this bust, and then if I've got a matching bracelet, I can hang the bracelet on that. So these are ready for a show. I don't know how I'm going to attach them to my display yet. I'm thinking of putting a piece of stick here or something and putting it. I'll have to show y'all later on that, but I'll use this somehow. You could put a stand on the back of this with a piece of folded cardboard and a piece of string, or you could put a piece of heavy-duty cardboard and a little hinge on the back if you wanted to use a stand-up like a regular bust, but that's not what I'm using them for. You could put a hole in the top and hang them around the top of a tent. There's many things you could do with these. You could hang several, like put a hole here and put a hole at the bottom and hang them in a row down in the front of your tent. There's a lot of things you could do. But if you like what you see, like, subscribe. Share my videos with a friend, and as I keep saying, keep on a crafting. See you on the next video. Bye.